if there's an issue that AI is creating better work than you, I think you are the problem. Disney is making propaganda film theory here, so let's see what we got here.
I've heard it before.
The controversy comes in when you realize how these generative AI work. They can't just create these new works out of nothing, they have to be fed other art, text, and music, and then they use information from those other works to create a quote-unquote new piece. This has led to a lot of discussion about whether or not what the AI's created is truly original work, or if it's just stealing art from other sources and repurposing it. And that's
Okay. So that's a good question there. Is the creations of this generative AI, would that be considered original art or theft? Because you heard how it was made. It's made by inputting the creations of human beings already, studying them all, and then essentially recreating something from the studies.
Well, then the key word there is study, though. I mean, didn't we go to school and we study many different things, like I want you to do a paper on whatever it may be. Then you research, you study, you learn it, and then put it in your own words. So is that thievery? I don't know. I mean, no,
You think it's original then?
I do.
Okay.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
As long as there was additional effort put in behind the new creation. I think that's really what determines it for me, as far as if there were efforts done, whether it's the studying or even so much as the simple command, the idea, having the idea, I would like to create X, therefore I can study Y and Z and create V.
Correct. I agree.
And yes, it may look like Y and Z, but
Or a combination of them.
right, or similar, but it is something new. It is something on its own, and it only came to be by the actions of the person that commanded the AI or the tool to create the new original piece.
I agree.
There's a giant rift growing between the Hollywood studios that see generative AI as a way to save costs during expensive productions, and the artists, writers, and actors that rightfully feel that their jobs could be threatened with this technology. Remember those strikes that shut down Hollywood for basically the entire back half of last year? Yeah, a big part of the reason for those strikes was disagreement over AI. And while
What are your thoughts on that?
I did not know that, but again, I don't watch the news, so
Sure. Well, now that you know that this big writer's strike was a big portion of it, where their issues with AI being used to write instead of hiring these people, do you find issue in it now?
Well, AI is being fed information, correct? So if writers get out there and write original content, it can be fed to AI and then used later. I mean, I guess it all depends. I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly what all AI can do, but can it take the place of a studio writer or a sitcom writer? I don't know. I don't know.
As someone that has easily several hundred hours of experience with generative technology and AI, I have a pretty firm opinion that the generative capabilities of what we have right now, which is GPT-4, are lackluster to the top that a human can create. And not only that, but it's stubborn at times. It's limited because it is only limited to what it has been fed.
Yeah.
So that's why there's also another. I'll go into another big issue that just came out just recently, but we'll do that another time. But my point is that if there's an issue that AI is creating better work than you, I think you are the problem. Because from my experience, AI has had such game-changing flaws that it makes it unusable at the highest levels. If it's something as simple as, a quick thumbnail for a YouTube video, that's fine. That can be AI generated. But if you're looking at like something super important that can't have mistakes, I wouldn't rely AI. Like it's not fully fleshed out. Maybe give it another year or two. It may be to the point where it's better, but this unfortunately it has made me a little bit, because when I first started using GPT, I thought it's obviously amazing. It's a revolutionary tool. I use it all the time for a lot of different things in my life. But I've found that after using it for so long, I can see through the cracks, and I can tell that it is just a tool. It is not something that it is going to replace people. Like it's not at that point yet. It can replace very mundane, very elementary, very basic tasks, stuff that doesn't matter if there are hallucinations, which are what when the generative technology, when it confirms a point as fact, but it just made it up. It randomly came across some article or some whatever online that it was fed, and it took it as fact. So because of these things, everything that it's limited with, I just don't think that AI is really going to be that much of an issue.
And in the background, Disney and other corporations like them are slowly exposing the public to more and more of the stuff. And like a frog in boiling water, eventually it'll overtake you without noticing. I mean, it's already happening. Despite the recent Hollywood actors and writers strikes, just a couple weeks ago, the Screen Actors Guild signed a deal that would allow game developers to use AI-generated voices, much to the disappointment of the voice actors that SAG represents. At the end of the day, though this use of technology may seem inevitable, you don't have to be fooled by the propaganda pushing that issue, or honestly any other issue. You can remain aware of the tactics that all these people are using to get you accustomed to the changes that they want. You can remain aware of the propaganda in what you watch, remain critical of it, and then form your own opinions free of what anyone wants you to think. And as the world changes fast and this AI technology rapidly develops, arming yourself with knowledge is the most valuable thing that you can do. As another piece of propaganda said nearly 40 years ago,
and knowing is half the battle.
But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory.
I got more out of the film that I watched like 5 years ago about how Disney, just the cartoons and the movies and such, was feeding propaganda without even you knowing it. And now it's different, but it's still the same.
Yeah, the only difference is the medium on which it's presented. Now we have the greatest mass brainwashing propaganda tool in the world, known as the internet.
The World Wide Web.
Yeah, and I think Matt Pat hit the nail on the head earlier, where propaganda is essentially modern day advertising and marketing. Because it's all subjected to us so fluently, so frequently, so subconsciously, so inadvertently. It's under our radar. Heck, I think I read somewhere that they can actually project advertising in your dreams, or it's a technology they're testing out. As wild as that sounds. But it's interesting. I think that the AI messages are a little bit of a stretch for me. I think it's just natural for people to be talking more about AI and exploring the different avenues that it could take. So I think it's a little bit of a stretch to kind of examine these recent, and they only had a couple of examples of recent films that glorified AI. While I do believe that there very well could be some form of propaganda agenda that they're trying to push that is more accepting of technology and AI and the transhuman agenda, that's a big thing. They want to, at least that's what people are saying. They're trying to push encourage people to incorporate themselves within machinery to get the genetic or the what do you call it? The cybernetic enhancements that increase your functionality in various ways, gives you perfect vision where you can zoom in on things, gives you faster cognitive abilities, things like that. So that's really what the whole thing is. They're trying to push it, or at least this is the supposed conspiracy theory is that they're trying to make it more publicly acceptable for people to be incorporating these technologies and AI. So I can kind of see there being it, but I think unfortunately his couple of examples of films and special cases aren't necessarily enough to sell me on the particular theory that he's going for.
No, but I'm gonna look for that other video. I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask my friends because
We'll
it's-
get that set up, yeah.
Yeah, find that. But very interesting. There's a lot of. I mean, when I think about AI, I mean, in a very small-minded way, I actually think of self-checkouts. You know, it used to take somebody to ring your groceries up or ring your order up and you pay for it right then and there. And now they've made us learn to go do it ourselves.
Right.
I mean, it's there's so many more things that are going to happen that we're all going to be surprised. So let's just go on and just try to be happy, live well, drink water.
Hydrate.
Definitely. Take care of your body.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take care of you.
Yeah, that's Matt Pat Film Theory. He's also does a couple other channels. As always, links down below. Hit the like and subscribe. We'll see you guys all real soon. Much love. Cheers, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.